In the darkest hour of one Saturday night in Latte Kingdom, a set of twins was born. Two beautiful girls brought into the family of Papa and Mama Orusa King. Their father, a successful gold merchant who traded far and wide, named the newborn twins Ero and Eisake. As the twins grew, a stark physical difference emerged between them, despite eating the same meals at the same time. Ero, one of the twins, appeared too thin, skinny, and tall, while Asake, the other twin, looked plump and healthy. As they grew older, Ero became the object of mockery in the village due to her slender figure. She was often called horrible names like skeleton and a jagbe, which means thin fish. These cruel taunts brought Ero to tears, and she would return home crying. Her parents always did their best to comfort her, and even her twin sister, Asake, tried to encourage her. However, no one in the village wanted to be Ero's friend. Social groups rejected her outright, and the few that accepted her used every opportunity to humiliate her until she stopped attending their meetings altogether. On the other hand, Asake was the opposite. She had many friends and was a member of various social groups in the village. The only solace for Ero amid this madness was her remarkable cooking skills. She was such a wonderful cook that whenever she prepared meals for her family, everyone ended up licking their plates and praising her for the delicious food. Home was her safe haven, but outside, the villagers, like wolves, continued to ridicule her. The mockery intensified when Ero and Asake went to the market. People compared them, whispered, gossiped, and stared. One afternoon as they were buying food ingredients, a fish seller mocked, "Asake, why did you suck Ero's blood?" The remark was followed by laughter from others in the market. Another person added, "Watch out for the strong wind tomorrow, Ero, so you don't lose your balance." Ero was heartbroken and couldn't respond. But Asake stood up for her sister, angrily firing back at the crowd. "You should all be ashamed of yourselves. Most of you have children, and if you don't, it must be because you're too bitter to have one. I'm sure you have siblings, yet you behave like fools." Ero felt immense gratitude for her sister's support. Asake always defended her twin against the mean bullies. However, everything changed one day when Asake's boyfriend, Aru, came to visit. Aru, the son of a famous cocoa farmer, had been in a loving relationship with Asake for 2 years. He came with heartbreaking news. They could no longer marry because his family didn't support the union. In tears, Asake asked, "Why am I not good enough for you?" Aru replied, "You know you're perfect, but my parents fear your twin sister's skinny genes might manifest in our children if we get married." Asake was devastated. She couldn't believe her ears, and her world crumbled. The rejection caused her to resent Ero. To make matters worse, Asake's social groups expelled her because they disliked how she stood up for her twin sister. Asake blamed all her woes on Ero and decided to make her life miserable. One day, after Ero prepared a delicious meal for the family, Asake entered the kitchen and poured sand into the pot of food. Ero, confused and hurt, screamed, "Why did you do that?" Asake shot back, "Shut your mouth, skinny witch." The following week, Ero fetched a bucket of water for her bath and left it in the bathroom while she went to her room to change. Asake sneaked into the bathroom and poured something into the water. Unaware, Ero returned and bathed with the contaminated water, only to start itching all over. She scratched herself desperately and screamed in pain. Her parents rushed to her aid, rubbing her body with palm oil to ease the itching. Meanwhile, Asake laughed cruelly, revealing her guilt. Unlike before, when Asake defended her sister, she now joined in ridiculing Ero in public. Whenever they went to the market, Asake would loudly call Ero a skinny skeleton. making sure everyone saw and heard that she was done supporting her. Aro became deeply saddened and cried day and night. Their parents scolded Asake repeatedly. "She's your twin sister, for crying out loud. I didn't raise you to be this way," their mother would say. But Asake felt no remorse. She shouted, "Aro destroyed my life. The love of my life, Aru, left me because of this thin stick." Their mother was shocked and heartbroken by her words. What Asake just said made Aro so angry that she slapped her twin sister hard on the cheek. It was mockery and humiliation every day for Aro, not only from her twin sister, but also from the entire village. However, there came a time when the twins' village, Latte Kingdom, along with two neighboring kingdoms, Moeri and Bor, began preparing for a once-in-a-decade contest called the Queen Maiden Competition. For this event, each kingdom was required to present 3 of their most capable, competitive, and beautiful maidens to represent them. The villagers in Latte began proposing names of potential representatives for the competition. Some even jokingly suggested Aro's name, laughing mockingly at the thought. "Who would put a skeleton forward to represent humans?" someone sneered, which was met with even more laughter. This year's competition was to be hosted by one of the neighboring kingdoms because Latte Kingdom had hosted the previous one. One afternoon, as Aro went to fetch water at the village stream, she met a man named Adio. Unbeknownst to her, Adio was one of the organizers of the Queen Maiden competition from the host kingdom. The moment Adio saw Aro, he was captivated by her unique stature. "What beauty is this?" he exclaimed. "You are blessed with a lovely figure that many people would kill for," he added. Aro was confused by his words and thought he was being sarcastic, but Adio seemed genuinely amazed. He told her he was in their village to collect the names of the 3 maidens who would represent Latte Kingdom in the upcoming competition. "I'm sure your name will be on the list because you look perfect for the competition," he said confidently. Aro, however, told him that it was impossible. She explained that everyone in the village hated her and wouldn't even consider recommending her for such an honor. She also revealed that he was the first person to ever praise her figure, as everyone else called her horrible names like skeleton. Adio was shocked to hear this and encouraged her to dress well and attend the competition, even if she wouldn't be participating. Though hesitant at first, Aro eventually agreed to show up on the day of the event. When the day of the competition arrived, delegations from Latte, Moeri, and Bor traveled to the palace of the host kingdom. The twins and their parents were also present, dressed elegantly. After the 3 girls representing each kingdom were introduced, the organizers made an unexpected announcement. There would be an additional contestant, sponsored by the host king himself. The privilege of adding an extra contestant was one of the powers reserved for the host king in the Queen Maiden competition. Everyone eagerly waited to see who the lucky maiden would be. To the astonishment of all, Aro's name was called out as the chosen contestant. She was shocked, and her fellow villagers were equally confused, surprised, and even jealous. Asake, fuming with anger, muttered to herself, "What use is a drumstick in this contest?" Despite the uproar, no one could challenge the king's decision. Aro's parents were overjoyed and clapped enthusiastically for their daughter, cheering her on. Still in shock, Aro hesitated to step forward, but her parents' encouragement boosted her confidence. She finally stepped out, looking tall, graceful, and elegant in her attire. The competition began with the first stage, a cooking contest. Each maiden was tasked with preparing traditional dishes. With her exceptional culinary skills, Aro quickly and confidently prepared a meal that impressed everyone. For her, It was effortless, a walk in the park. The judges tasted the dishes and announced the names of the 5 maidens who would advance to the next stage. Unsurprisingly, Arrow was among the victors. Her family had always praised her for her cooking, and now her skills had earned her recognition in the competition. The second stage involved finding a hidden treasure in the forest. The first maiden to locate the treasure and return with it would be crowned the Queen Maiden of the 3 Kingdoms. The final stage of the competition required the 5 remaining maidens to swim across a river to reach the forest where the treasure was hidden. Many of the maidens struggled with swimming, but Arrow, being fit and lightweight, swam much faster than the rest. She was the first to reach the forest and began searching for the treasure. 15 minutes passed and she was still looking. Soon, another maiden named Jibiki, JBK, finished swimming and joined the search. While Arrow was scanning the forest, she spotted a shiny blue object in the bushes. "That must be it," she exclaimed, forgetting it was a competition. Her outburst caught Jibike's attention, who immediately ran towards the direction Arrow was pointing. What had started as a treasure hunt turned into a race. Arrow tried to catch up, but as she ran, her cloth got caught on a tree branch, causing her to fall. Jibike reached the shiny object first. However, something unexpected happened. As Arrow lay on the ground, she noticed several other shiny blue objects scattered in the bushes. They looked identical to the first one she had spotted. That's when it dawned on her. These were distractions, not the real treasure. Determined, Arrow stood up and considered warning Jibike, but remembering her earlier mistake, she decided to stay quiet and continue her search. Jibike, thinking she had found the treasure, rushed back to the riverbank and announced to the other maidens that she had won. The remaining 3, believing her claim, gave up searching and joined her to swim back to the kingdom. Meanwhile, Arrow kept searching the forest. Suddenly she felt water dripping on her. Looking up, she saw a golden box perched high in a tree. The box sparkled brilliantly, convincing Arrow that it was the real treasure. Thanks to her tall figure, she climbed the tree with ease, retrieved the golden box, and opened it. Inside, she found several multicolored gems, along with more of the blue distractions she had seen earlier. Confident she had found the true treasure, she closed the box and began her journey back to the palace. When Arrow arrived at the palace, all eyes were on her. She looked exhausted, but determined as she carried the large golden box. The other contestants, including Jibike, stared at her in shock and envy. The organizers unveiled a drawing of the true treasure the maidens were meant to find. To everyone's surprise, especially her fellow villagers, Arrow had returned with the exact treasure. Arrow was declared the winner, crowned, and named the Queen Maiden of the 3 Kingdoms. She was also showered with rewards, including gold, fine clothes, and a house of her own. The villagers, who had mocked her for years, were stunned by her victory. They quickly changed their attitudes, showering her with fake affection and apologies for how they had treated her. Arrow's parents were overjoyed and clapped proudly for their daughter. Asake, her twin sister, was overwhelmed with shame. She didn't know what to say or how to face Arrow after all the cruelty she had shown her. When they returned home, Asake decided to pack her belongings and leave. "I'm so ashamed of myself, Arrow," she said tearfully. "I treated you like an animal. I preferred to please outsiders rather than honor my own flesh and blood. Let me leave. The shame is too much for me to bear." But Arrow stopped her. "Why would you leave your family, Asake?" she asked. Asake broke down, crying. I'm so sorry for how I treated you, Arrow. You're my twin sister, but I hurt you so much. I don't deserve to stay." Arrow hugged her tightly and said, "I can never hate you, Asake. We came into this world through our mother's womb on the same day. I love you, no matter what, and I forgive you." The twin sisters reconciled, hugged, and from that day forward, lived happily ever after. Moral lessons: embrace yourself, no matter your situation. There is beauty in being unique or different. When life gives you lemons, turn them into lemonade. Ignore the noise of mockery and humiliation from others. Only you can prove your worth.